I like to say that money's a story, and a story in a specific sense that it's a system of interpretations, a system of meanings that assigns roles to people and focuses human attention and coordinates human activity. So, for example, if say like you're really rich and you want to build a skyscraper, how do you get all of those people? For one thing, you have to basically you're telling a story. A skyscraper will be built here, and then how do you get everybody to deliver the cement at a certain time, and how do you get all of those architects and all those engineers and all those workers to agree to devote their life energy toward this project? Well, you use money to do that, and other symbols too, schedules and things like that. But money is what gets everybody's attention focused on this project. So yeah, money is a story. You can also say it's an agreement to use something as a medium of exchange. There's level upon level of it. And the level that I have been talking about and thinking about the most is that, we live in this monetized society where even like a generation ago, there were a lot of functions that we didn't use money for. For example, childcare. Neighbors would watch each other's kids. Food preparation. Most meals were prepared and eaten at home. And these have been converted into services. And we've converted, and if you go back 100 years, the people didn't pay for entertainment. They sang songs themselves. People don't sing themselves very much. People didn't pay for adventures. Today kids will have kind of fake adventures when they play their Pokemon games and online adventure games. But kids had real adventures that were not something they had to buy. So we've converted all of these relationships and human functions into services, and then converted more and more of nature into goods. And I think that the crisis today stems from the fact that there's almost nothing left to convert into the realm of goods and services. Anytime something gets converted into goods and services, the GDP grows, the economy grows, which is necessary in the money system we have today based on interest. Money being lent into existence subject to interest. So more money has to be paid back. So the amount of money keeps growing. The amount of goods and services that are exchanged for money is also under pressure to grow. And how long can this last? How many more fish can we convert into a catch? And how many more forests can we convert into board feet? And how many more relationships can we convert into services? There's almost nothing left. We pay for almost everything. And I think that, so at a really deep level, that's what this crisis is about. And that's why the solution that everybody can agree on, well, let's just, grow the economy some more, can't work anymore. And that is a crisis that goes beyond even like the debt overhang and the other things that people are talking about. But some people are talking about the need for a zero growth or a negative growth economy, which, it sounds like that would be political poison, but actually, like say you and I have kids and we're sending them to daycare, and then I say, hey, let's have a childcare cooperative. Get together some friends and we'll take care of each other's children and we won't pay for that anymore. And then we start cooking meals for each other and we don't eat at restaurants and we start giving each other rides and we don't pay for taxis. Well, GDP just went down. The economy went down, and according to economists' logic, we're all worse off. But I think a lot of people now, are using less natural resources, conserving. Again, when you burn less oil and buy less oil and conserve instead, GDP goes down. So I think a lot of people are now realizing that they're beginning to question economic growth. But that's part of a much deeper story, which I call it the story of ascent. That humanity, way back when we were living at the whim of nature, at the mercy of nature, and that thanks to technology and science, we became able to control natural forces and to dominate the natural world and to make nature ours, to domesticate the wild, and that the final step in this ascent will be maybe with nanotechnology and genetic engineering, we'll be able to completely control nature and transcend nature's limitations and live forever and end all disease and all of these techno-utopian dreams. And part of that is that we're going to grow forever. The human realm will grow forever. So the money system we have today, which actually compels endless exponential growth, is part of this broader story. And that broader story is coming to an end also as our efforts to control and dominate nature aren't really paying the dividends that they used to. In the mid 20th century, it looked like we were going to wipe out all disease. Scientists were testifying before Congress, by the year 2000, there will be no more disease. And there will be no more insects. We will have conquered the insects with miracle chemicals like DDT, and there will be no more insects. So this thinking, it was totally a no-brainer. Everybody knew in 1950 that, we'd be having space colonies and, unlimited lifespans by the year 2000. And today, that the future still hasn't come, and it's never going to come. And not only that, but we're not even sure if it should come or if we want it to come. So all these layers of stories within stories within stories are coming to an end, including the story of money that is part of this story of ascent and part of another story of the self, the story of self, the separate self, competing with other separate selves in an objective universe. That's another story that's coming to an end, and new stories are emerging to replace it, which is why I'm excited about some of the alternative or complementary currency thinking out there, because to me that's part of a new story of money, and more broadly a new story of the people, a new story of self, a new story of the world.